produced by a person and uttered through the mouth through speech or song. Now that's the dictionary definition, but we all have a different understanding of what a voice is, and something always comes to mind when we think of it. Some may think of Josh Turner singing Your Man. Others may think of Paul Harvey as he spoke, So God Made a Farmer. People like these have used their voices in powerful ways, and since the dawn of time, humans have used their voices in one way or another for entertainment or communication. From my parents' perspective, they would probably say that I have used my voice to argue with them nonstop, talk during TV shows, because yes, I was that kid, and be a little too sarcastic, because that's possible. It's amazing to think what a difference a voice can make in someone and the effect and impression it can have on others. But none of that can be seen unless we realize how unique our voices are. And it may take a little digging to find a voice of our own, but once we do, we can use it to make a difference. Now, throughout high school, whenever I created speeches, I always wondered how I could make my voice unique and stand out from everyone else. I always thought that I could use a tone of voice and change it up a little bit. I started off with a strong tone, and I ended up sounding like a news anchor. At one point, I thought about singing, until my advisor told me, how do I put this? No! All right, so I sat down and thought about it. What can I do? Well, I've always been told I have an issue with volume control, so I know that being heard wouldn't be much of a problem, but I wanted my message to mean something to myself and to whoever I shared my message with. Sharing that message did not matter if I couldn't keep someone's attention. So I tried another route. I sat down, I thought about it, it hit me. What if I could engage others by using something that wasn't exactly my own tone of voice? I worked on it a little, and now I have a list of 50 different accents and impersonations. I have done everything from Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo to Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean. I have said the creed in a few, and once I actually convinced a girl that lived in London, England, that I live there. True story. Now, I always love to watch people's reactions when I use my accents because their smiles, their laughs, and sometimes those looks like I'm a little bit crazy tell me that I am using a voice that I can call my own. Now, we all have different parts that make up our voices and make up who we are. Some speak with such power that you can't help but listen. Others share such a passionate message that they get your immediate attention. And some just have that special something to their voice that you hear every time. For Josh Turner, it's that slow, deep, and southern drawl and those country roots. And for Paul Harvey, it was the passion with which he shared his message that shined. But don't worry about being someone you're not, because how will you let your own voice show? We all have unique experiences that make us who we are. They shape our thoughts and our actions and the message that we share with others. And just like snowflakes, no two voices are the same. Embrace what makes you unique. If you're passionate about something, why not show it? Whether that's in sports, in school, or in the FFA, be proud to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Because, believe it or not, that's where you can be yourself. Now, there are too many times when people are okay with just shrinking back into the crowd and not showing themselves at all. What if you really like a particular CDE, but as it turns out, you are one of the only ones in your chapter that does? Are you just going to follow the crowd and not even show yourself, or are you going to step up and be passionate because that's what you are passionate about? Always be sure to tell your story, because just like no voice is the same, no story is told the same. But while we try so hard to have a voice that is unique to us and stands out, what happens if we don't really know what that voice is? I had that problem when I was younger. It did not matter if I sang as loud as I could and talked as much as I wanted at home, because when I was in public, I was silent. It turns out I did not have much of a voice of my own when I was younger. Now picture with me the kid that always sits in the far back of the classroom, would always rather be reading than speaking. Conversations with them kind of felt like talking to a brick wall. They are the kids that are way better off by themselves than with everyone else. And you could never, under any circumstance, get them to give a presentation or even a book report, because that meant speaking in front of people. I was one of those kids, and I carried all of that with me into the ag classroom my freshman year. I learned about this organization called the FFA. I don't know if any of you have heard about it before. And I learned that a member could become involved in things that they were interested in. Now, while my advisor encouraged public speaking, let's say that did not make the top of my priority list. But my advisor challenged me. So, of course, I had to accept. I learned the FFA creed, and soon found myself in my own blue jacket, saying the words, "I believe." What a rush! Okay, to be honest, I was scared out of my mind. But I thought I did great, and I liked it, because I was speaking about something important to me. This was revolutionary. What else would I like if I actually just tried it? Still to this day, I think that speaking in front of anyone is a scary experience. But I continue to do it because I know that I can always improve by stepping out of my comfort zone. But we all can. By taking on the challenges that my advisor gave me when I was younger, I was able to literally find my voice through speaking, one that represents me and what's important to me. Now, you know those times in life where it feels okay to let other people take those challenges, do all the hard work. And if only that were smooth sailing, because by passing up on opportunities, no matter how challenging, for new experiences, we lose opportunities down the road to see what we can accomplish. Always look for the new opportunities. Don't be scared and don't wait around, because someone else might come and grab the opportunity that you can seize today. Focus on your strengths and talents. What are they? What can you do with them? Most importantly, focus on what makes you happy, because that's where our voices really are. Some of the loudest and proudest leaders in the world have a voice because there is something that they are passionate about or something that they're working towards. Without constantly stepping up and stepping out, those voices might not even exist. Always try to find how your voice truly sounds. No one knows how much work that will take until they look back. And with all this work in, we open ourselves up to new experiences and new opportunities, and by constantly seek them out, we put ourselves on this road to success. And while that road may seem like it's just going around in circles, or it's so long and winding that we feel lost, don't give up. Keep pushing, because it's by making that effort that we see what we are made of and what our voices truly are. And once we put in all of this work to see how our own voices sound, there's only one thing to do with them. Use them. And people use their voices in many, many different ways. Sometimes we use our voices to give titles to each other that help us define who we are. Funny, athletic, smart, kind, you know, when we are called those words, we feel pretty invincible. But there are other titles as well that we forget. Stupid, runt, freak, insignificant. Words that when we hear them, tear down our defenses. I know, because I've been called a few of those. In middle school, I wasn't much of anybody. I was practically invisible and just blended into the crowd. I had moved up a grade in elementary school, making me younger and much smaller than everyone in my class. Now, of course, it all started out small. I was teased for being young, being smaller, being a know-it-all, but over time, it grew. If I got an answer wrong in class, some of my classmates would tell me how stupid I was. and laugh at me. I would get the locker slammed in my face, my books thrown on the ground on a regular basis, and if I didn't let someone copy off of my homework, there was a good chance that they would turn against me. That wasn't all, but it all just kept coming and coming, making me feel smaller and smaller. Now, of course, I always tried to remember the phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words could never hurt me." Simple, we've all heard it. But whoever came up with that phrase never said anything about being afraid to go to school because of those words, or being afraid to get out of bed because you know what was waiting for you. Over time, as things got worse, people actually started to notice. Some classmates even held out hands for me when I was down, and some stood up for me. Between me and those who tried to hurt me, they used their voices. They selflessly gave themselves to this cause, and for that I am forever grateful and proud to call them some of my best friends today. By using their voices in a meaningful way, they helped me find strength. And yes, I know what it's like for many years to feel hurt and ignored and to be treated like I am not important at all. But I know now what it's like to use my voice and believe in who I am and what I stand for. Wherever you go in life, whatever you do, be sure to use your voice in a way that's both positive and impactful, because that's all that's needed to make a huge difference. Never be afraid to use your voice, because in doing so, you automatically become brave. Stand up for what you believe in, and you may find that you are not the only one standing. Raise your voice, because one voice saying a few positive words can drown out a voice saying 1,000. Our voices are who we are. Our likes, our dislikes, our hopes, and our talents. No one has the right to take that from anyone in this room or tell you that you or your voice does not matter. Because in fact, it matters more than many things, because our voices are how we leave our marks upon the world. People may remember you for your voice, but you are better remembered by what you did with it. Just by a simple change in the tone of your voice or the message that you share, everyone in this room is capable of making a difference. That difference could be one person. It could be 10,000. But just by changing one life, you change the world. By using our voices in negative ways to hurt those around us in some way, we close ourselves off. We end up hurting ourselves. Always try to be aware of the actions, the feelings and thoughts of those around you, because though you might not notice, those are their voices as well. Wherever you are in the world, always seek to make a positive difference, wherever it's needed, no matter how small. Let me ask this convention hall a question. If you would have helped me when I was younger, if you would have stood up for me, or you think you would have, let me hear an oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have taken all of you about 6 years ago. Frankly, whether you said it or not, I probably would have taken this whole auditorium, because 1,500 blue jackets coming to help a middle schooler would be pretty awesome in my book. Now, if you're passionate about the FFA, let me hear a big old whoop whoop. Sweet music. Because what I just heard was a little piece of all of our voices coming together over something that we are passionate about. That's one of the greatest things about using our voices. Coming together with others. Now and down the road in the future, surround yourself with passionate individuals. Now, these people may have the same likes and dislikes as you, or they may be even a little different, but either way, you're placing yourself among people who are willing to help you make a difference. I have found those passionate individuals this year, and I am proud to call them my teammates. Now, when you speak with passion, you give your voice purpose. And when you live your life with purpose, you'll always find new reasons to use your voice, to speak, to sing, and to laugh. Now, sometimes I really wish life just had this big easy button. I could just slap it, and I could just go back and tell myself all of these things that I've learned. That I would grow up to not be so tiny. That I would actually like speaking to people. Go figure. And that I have some of the greatest experiences ahead of me. But honestly, I don't think that I would change a thing, because I know now that it's by embracing who we are that makes our voices unique. It's by chasing down those experiences that we find a voice of our own. And it's by using those voices that we have an impact on this world. Kansas FFA, use your voice!
Chance, throughout this past year, you've shown all of us what it truly means to ignite our leadership. Your extreme passion for the Kansas FFA Association has been shown in more ways than one. Whether it was being our human dictionary or being ahead of the game with all your deadlines, you truly brought a special place to this team. Thank you for sharing your broad knowledge of about anything, phenomenal computer skills, and your amazing singing talents. Yours to lean on, Lindy, Carrie, Daryl, Cody, Elizabeth. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013-2014 State FFA Secretary, Mr. Chance Hunley.